secretly plan my escape from my controlling religious parents, fleeing the country with just my laptop and documents tonight. I am the youngest, 22, of 5 kids, 2 boys and 3 girls. My parents are heavily religious and we live in Utah. Growing up, everything had to be done perfectly. It didn't matter if it was grades, looks, social activities or even friends. I'm different from my siblings as I was never interested in the maths and science like they were. I've always been the writer, the painter. I remember once when I was 13, I made a painting of a dove in a snowy field and won first in the competition. I told my parents, who got angry that I had wasted my time with something so worthless when I should have been using the time to study. I still had A's in every class. My mother won't even say more than a few words to me. She's always seems like she hates me and I don't understand. Father burned the painting to remind me of what was truly important before taking all of my art supplies until I showed more responsibility with my time. It's been like this as long as I can remember. I work full time, and have since I was 15 at McDonald's, dashing every bit of money I could. Father took half my checks as tithing to help teach me what being an adult was like. I applied to several colleges but was told by my parents that they would not be helping me with tuition as they did for my siblings because they thought sending me to college would just be a waste of money. So I got angry. I am so tired of being the black sheep just because I like the arts more than maths and science. And then, I heard them talking when I got up in the middle of the night about the perfect man they'd found who was willing to take me in. Through our church. I am terrified, and so I'm leaving. I've got some money saved up, a good amount, and I'm leaving the country. I found a job that lets me work remote doing freelance design work, and I've had my passport since I was a kid because of our family vacations overseas. I'm taking nothing other than a change of clothes, my laptop and important documents I took out of my father's office. I booked a flight that leaves in 5 hours and I'm never coming back. I'm not even going to take my phone since I'd need to get a new number anyway. My best friend, God bless her, had been the one booking things and getting everything ready since I couldn't tip off my parents. She's also smuggled some of my more important things I can't take to hold on to for me. She's parking down the street and I'll leave with my smallest suitcase to meet her. I don't know how they'll take this. I'm terrified they'll find a way to drag me back, or track me down. They went to bed over an hour ago, but I'm too anxious to sleep. Update 1. So, I was advised to remove the location destination from my post, so all I will say is that I'm in South Africa right now and it's amazing. The food is astonishing, and a poster here messaged me to recommend that I try bunny chow, which is actual authentic curry in a bread bowl. It was phenomenal. I got to chatting with one of the hotel staff. She's about my age and we really hit it off. She went with me to a local shopping center to get some new and better clothes. At least I'm used to wearing dresses, so that doesn't faze me, and they're very lightweight and breathable unlike a lot of US dress fabrics. She also told me to always shake out my shoes every morning just in case. I've started apartment hunting, and it's well within my budget, like super low compared to how sky high it is in the US. It's honestly jaw-dropping. Like $81 for a studio apartment with a loft and kitchenette. So yeah, housing won't be an issue, and it is a bit odd to be house shopping for myself when I've always lived with my parents. Now on to the less pleasant bits. I finally opened the emails, deciding it was best to probably get it over with. My father's email was filled with anger, there is no other way to put it. He said that by taking off irresponsibly like I did cost them the friendship of someone they'd planned on introducing to me. He never admitted that it was the 53-year-old they'd basically sold me to. Father stated that because of the social relations that had been damaged and impacted by my actions, I owe them approximately $85,000 in reparations. He also claims that he will be taking me to court if I don't pay it in full within 30 days and return home, as I obviously cannot be trusted. I plan to ignore that as I believe him to be bluffing. He ended his email/rant with "You belong to me, and I won't tolerate such defiance when we've put a roof over your head and taken care of you for your entire life. You were never the child we expected, it's time you make up for your deficiencies. I expect you home within the next 2 weeks. Yeah. No. My siblings were basically copies of my father's email, admonishing me for throwing the efforts of our parents in their faces before running off like a coward unwilling to face the fallout of my actions. I skimmed them honestly, before just deleting them. It's nothing I didn't expect. However, my sister-in-law, she's married to my eldest brother, sent her own email before asking me not to reply as she would be deleting every sign she sent it from her end. She congratulated me on stepping out on my own and getting away from my parents and their demands. She said that she herself hadn't been strong-willed enough to stand up to her parents when they basically betrothed her to my brother. Which makes sense as I remember that they met and then married within 6 months, and even then I thought that was a bit strange. She pleaded with me not to return, and not to reply. That was it. It was a bit unnerving honestly, as I do believe her, and I'm sad that she is stuck the way she is. The last email was from my best friend. She said that the morning after I flew out, my parents had been on their doorstep demanding to see me. Apparently they believe that I was hiding with her. They refused to leave, screaming for me to stop pretending I wasn't there. It caused enough of a scene that the police were called, but they only talked to my parents briefly and let them leave. It really angered my friend, who'd wanted them arrested for threats and trespassing. The police only claimed that there wasn't a pattern of behavior that would warrant them being arrested and charged. Before just leaving. She didn't know when they realized I wasn't there at her house, but they didn't come back, thankfully. However, word has spread of me fleeing the safety of my parents' home and how they wanted me to return as they were concerned and fearful of what may happen with me out on the streets alone. The church ward has actually done searches of the area trying to find me. I don't know what they'll do from here, but they have no idea I left the country, let alone the state. My friend has no plans to say anything, and neither do I. As far as I'm concerned right now, they can live with that state of wondering for the rest of eternity. I don't think I will renounce my US citizenship, as there may come a day when I need it and it's better to be safe than sorry. But I have full plans to gain dual citizenship as soon as I am able to. Update 2. I thought with all the comments and questions I thought I'd answer here and explain what's happened since my last post. Ironically, my use of maths instead of just math comes from my mother who is British and met my father in England when they were 22. So I do come by it naturally and my siblings say it that way as well. I thank you for drawing my attention to the TT videos broadcasting my story, though why they changed the name I don't know. I did report them but we'll have to see if they ever pull the videos down or at least edit them. Second is people questioning why I chose South Africa and Johannesburg of all places because of how dangerous it can be. I do understand the risks, but there is nowhere on this planet that is inherently danger-free. Africa is massive and incredibly diverse, finding someone would be very difficult and because those videos got so much attention I have left Johannesburg sadly. I'm very far though obviously still in Africa. The area I'm in now is incredibly safe, and came highly recommended by several people. Settling here will be very comfortable and the people are wonderful. I may even attend the university here and get a degree. I haven't replied to the emails, but I have saved them and printed copies and laminating them just in case. I will not be renouncing my US citizenship, and my passport is good for another 8 years. I don't hate religion, regardless of what it is. In my eyes, a person's relationship with God is incredibly personal. If a person connects with Him via camping, or walks, long drives listening to music, acts of service, that's their choice and it's just as valid in my opinion as sitting in a pew is. Possibly more as they're honest with themselves instead of just putting on a false facade for the public eye. I plan on ignoring any further emails from my family, other than printing them out just in case. They've made several phone calls to my friend who said fun with them. The first time your father called yelling that I hand you over I pretended to be cowed and gave him your location. It took him to a strip club. He came back screaming at how I had embarrassed him. I just hung up on him honestly. She did that each time they called, giving a different location each time. Her favorite was sending my parents to a nudist retreat. My mother passed out apparently. My friend is looking to move and eventually plans to join me but will jump around a bit so that they don't follow her to me. I did finally read my uncle's email, but it was just a copy of my father's with the added comment that he and his fellow cops would be looking for me to bring me home safe before I got myself in trouble and hurt. I'm watchful, and I know better than to wander into dark alleyways and abandoned places. That's all I've got for now. If anything changes I'll let you all know. It's heartwarming seeing and reading how many people are on my side and in my corner. Update 3. Hello everyone. It's been a while since my last update and a few things have happened that I was told by my friend that I needed to share since everyone was still clearly rooting for me. I have settled in a bit here, and am now enjoying the fun of paperwork. Oh so much paperwork. I have secured an apartment, and while it's 2 bedrooms, one is for my friend when she comes to join me. I've made a few acquaintances here locally and am beginning to stand on my own a bit. My biggest challenge has been dealing with feeling uncomfortable because I don't know all of those unspoken rules the way I did in the US. As such, I'm constantly second-guessing myself but hopefully that will fade with time. So, family. My family has learned I left the state. How they did, I'm not sure. They do, however, seem convinced that I am still in the continental US. My friend works as a cartoonist, and while she doesn't make a large amount of money, she makes more than enough to live comfortably. She's getting ready to leave herself and decided to send my parents a farewell gift. She didn't tell me about this until just a little bit ago. She spent a few hours carefully drawing my parents as they visited each location she sent them to, including their reactions, and all scenes were ended with the phrase "Abbott Abbott Abbott, that's all folks." Sadly, while I've never seen Looney Tunes, as she named it, she said she portrayed my dad as similar to a coyote? I'm still not 100% sure what that means, but she said everyone else would. Before then ordering me to watch it. Maybe one day. She should be joining me around October 9th, after country hopping several times. All the things she hasn't sold are in a secured storage unit, including the things she's been holding for me. The biggest revelation came after my father. Well, he had a meltdown apparently after I never responded to him. He got into a fight with my mother in church, and many things were said. Among those, according to several, that my mother had cheated on my father, which, well, led to me. Which is why she never liked me, I guess, as I just reminded her of her mistakes. My father took her back in spite of that, but well, there it is. It caused a big stir in the ward, and meetings were held, though I obviously don't know what was said or done. I may never know honestly. I am trying to move on and am even contemplating getting a tattoo. Part of me really wants to, while another points out that if I change enough and father finds me, he won't want me then. Update 4. Once my friend arrived things got really hectic. She's been settling in well, and it has been a huge relief to have her here with me, as it gives me a sense of security that I didn't really have before. We've been taking time to build new routines, finding a new normal I guess that works for us both. It's been a challenge, but at the same time, everything has been so different one day to the next that it's kept the days from seeming boring or blurring together. One of the elderly neighbors I've been talking to a lot since I moved here has also invited the both of us to spend Christmas with her and her family. They're going to have a goat as the main meat, which is different, but I'm excited to try. It's odd to not see Christmas trees everywhere, but that's still a new thing, so it's not common here. But her granddaughter is teaching my friend and I some of the dances we'll be doing, as Christmas celebrations here are more like a festive party and gathering rather than a slow day spent with just gifts. It's odd, as even in my family we'd only ever be given 3 gifts. One for our body, one for the mind, and the last for the soul, to honor the Trinity according to my parents. Last year, I think I received a new Sunday dress, a set of physics textbooks and a new log journal for my scripture reading. After gift openings we'd each retreat to our rooms and remain there until dinner was ready, usually made by mother and myself. Yet here, they're planning on doing our hair, having dances and music with food and laughter. Gifts are still given obviously, but the day is spent more with those around you than on material things. I'm excited. I've decided to ignore my family for now. I've gotten a lot of questions on why I didn't report them or confront them, and the answer is easy and may seem a bit childish, but the thought of facing them like that terrifies me. I don't want to be around them, talk to them or think about them. I'm genuinely scared that trying to bring justice will only drag me right back into the mess I ran from. I'm 22 and yet I'm terrified of my own family. So that's why I'm not doing anything to them. I just want to pretend, even if only for a bit, that my life isn't messed up and freakish, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know where I will be a year from now, but somehow, the thought doesn't worry me. I'm happy, genuinely happy, and excited to see where things will go from here. Thank you everyone. Really, I mean it. Looking back, it's mind-blowing how things have changed, and there is still so much I get to do. I know there are people here from all over the world. I'd love to hear your holiday traditions. I don't care if it's not Christmas, I just love to hear what you do this time of year and your traditions. I'm trying to figure out my new normal, and what I like, so I'd love any suggestions, be it food, music, dances, anything really. Now on to second story. Found out my colleague spreads lies about me and sits naked on my chair when I work from home, planning to catch him with a hidden camera. I, 35F, am a Moroccan living and working in the US. I work for a big corporation with worldwide locations. When I started working there was a colleague of mine, M37, who always made jokes about being in love with me, etc. I knew these weren't just jokes but his way of telling me he was interested. I don't shit where I eat, so I just ignored it. He then started calling me as Ahmed. I always corrected him and told him to call me by my name. I told him if he wouldn't stop I would call him Banana Nose. Listen, I don't know why I said that because his nose is normal, it's just something that came to my mind. He laughed it off but never called me that again. Since 2 months we have a new colleague, M36. I was working from home the first 2 days he started. When I met him he was very distant. Acted as if he doesn't like me. Don't get me wrong, I'm a very nice person, so for me this was weird, but I respected him and his space, so I didn't make an effort to see what was going on. Last week I discovered he made a huge mistake. I can't go into details about what because you would guess the corporation, but it was a big one. Even though he acted like a jerk to me, I didn't want him to get into trouble, so I stayed in the office with him until past midnight to solve the issue. And I never reported it. But then, when I got up to leave he asked me to wait because he wanted to talk to me. He asked me why I hated him so much. My flabber was gasted. I asked him what he meant because in my opinion he was the ass. He started telling me that the first day he got here he was mentored by Banana Nose. And Banana Nose told him, watch out for her because she is Muslim and has told everyone over and over again that gay people should be banned. First, sir, I came from Morocco to work here, who the hell am I to want to ban someone? Secondly, my religion teaches me to accept and respect everyone. New guy went on to say that he had doubts after tonight because I could have fed him to the wolves but instead helped him out. But then came the worst part. New guy told me that Banana Nose goes into my office when I work from home and get this, sits naked on my chair to punish me for being a prude. I asked new guy to not tell anyone what he told me. And now I want to get a hidden camera and install it in my office. I want to first ask HR if it's not against office policy, but yeah. I definitely want to catch his ass, literally. Would I be the asshole if I did that? Update 1. Well, it is very nice meeting you all. I have never in my life read so many ideas to make someone's butt itch or hurt. The things we can achieve if we just work together. I had to talk to HR. I requested an urgent meeting. I didn't tell them everything because I know what they would do. They would investigate and then come back with, it's just a rumor. Banana Nose is very loved and I don't want to put new guy in a bad place. So I told them I'm afraid someone might be sneaking in my office because all my stuff gets misplaced. Since I have a higher position at this company they took it real serious real fast. So my dear comfies. Camera is in its place. And I will be working from home the next couple of days. Update 2. Before I get to the update I would like to explain where my office is and how Banana Nose was able to do what he did. My office is at the end of the hall. The only room that's facing my office is a utility room / supply closet. We all have offices on the same floor. And with we I mean the members of our team. I know it might seem naive of me, but I never question new guy. I've never told him anything about how Banana Nose treats me and how he calls me a prude. So for him to make that leap seemed excessive. Now for the update. Today was my first day working from home since the cameras were placed. After working for a few hours, I got a call from HR to come to work. My heart was beating so fast and I literally can't remember how I got there. The nerves were eating at me. I got to the HR department, which is one floor above us, and I noticed everyone staring at me. The head of the department was sitting in a room with a couple of other people. They started talking. I couldn't listen. Things like, we as a company blah blah blah. I stopped them and said I couldn't bear listening to a TED talk and I wanted to know what was going on. Last night when I already went home and the camera was installed for maybe an hour, Banana Nose entered my office. HR asked me if I wanted to see the video or if I just want them to explain what happened. As if it's a nature documentary. I told them I definitely wanted to see the video. I will first start by saying what I saw objectively. Banana Nose entered my office and the door behind him was still open. He looked over his shoulder and it looked like he was talking to someone while taking his pants off. Then it happened. He sat on my chair butt-ass naked. He took some candy from my desk and started dancing on my chair, rubbing his butt in my chair's DNA. I got sick to my stomach. He then took my pens one by one and licked them. It looked like he was still talking. There was no sound. So I wasn't sure. Then the worst thing happened. 2 years ago I lost my 7-year-old niece to cancer. On my desk is a picture of her and I the last time we got to hug. So you can clearly see it's not only a child but a sick one. This evil man rubbed his penis all over my picture frame and laughed so hard. He took out his phone. Made a call and then left. I started crying like a baby. I feel violated. I feel used. I feel unsafe. HR guy was talking but I didn't hear anything. I saw myself in the reflection of the window and I stopped. Wiped away my tears and asked what the next steps are. HR said Banana Nose was asked to come in later and they would fire him on the spot. It seemed to me like they thought that that was enough for me. I told them firing him is step 1. I wanted to know who he was talking to and demanded to see the security tapes for the hallway. You can't see into my office on these tapes, but I know for a fact you can see who is standing in the hall. HR accepted my request and asked security for the tapes. It takes some time but they expect to get it sometime tomorrow. For now I feel unsafe everywhere I go. When I got in my car all I could think about was, maybe he was in my car. Maybe he was in my home. I know that sounds crazy but I feel crazy. Update 3. I don't know where to start. Forgive my brain giving up on me. It has been a lot. I have viewed the tapes and what I saw was, I don't know. It was clear he was talking to someone. I too thought it could be new guy. But it wasn't. New guy was seen on tape at the beginning of the hall turning his back and leaving. Banana Nose was giving a show in my office for 4 of my co-workers. 1 male 2 female. 2 of them I trained. All 3 of them I helped when they made many mistakes. They stood by the door while he danced and filmed him. One of the females started to fist pump. It was disgusting. Before going to HR to view the tape, I did my research. I read in my contract that when there is a conflict of serious nature that can't be solved that it needs to be taken to the board for review and judgment. I knew that if I asked for them all to be fired that it wouldn't be a problem. Because like I said, many mistakes. So I came up with a different idea. I asked for a compensation from the firm and all parties involved of $1 million per person. I know, ridiculous. Ridiculous enough to get me in front of the board. To get Theme in front of the board. And I can't wait to show these tapes in front of 11 rich old men and 1 female. Who all have a lot of influence in our field of business. But most of all I can't wait to look them in the eye and ask them why? I know their answer wouldn't change anything but it would give away who they truly are. Banana Nose isn't fired yet. When I got home after our meeting, HR guy told me they want to wait until they have the full story so nothing was unanswered. After today I asked them not to fire him because the board meeting would be useless. And if he quits he will lose all his benefits. So this way. He has little choice but to show up to the meeting where I will do my dance. I don't know if I'll stay at this company even though I love to work here. Because I can't believe that there is any way where it would be possible for new guy to know this info and all my other colleagues not. Yesterday I drove to new guy's house. I told him I never mentioned his name. I want him to have peace and not be afraid that other people will act out against him as some sort of vengeance. His secret is safe with me. Some people ask me what I would do if someone read this from work. Let me say it like this. I work with a bunch of nerds. Not the good kind that's on Reddit. But the bad kind that thinks TMZ is what keeps you up to date. They use words like, whatever, I bet you can picture them now. And if they do show up here and read all of this, so be it. I couldn't cope without all of you. I have no family here and I thought my coworkers were my friends. I guess we all make mistakes. Again, thank you all for everything. I kinda love you guys. Just make sure you never say whatever. The finale. Dear Comfies. An hour ago I got the news that everyone involved quit their job. They got their notice that they have to appear in front of the board and they didn't want that. By everyone involved, I also mean one other person that was not on the tape but knew of it and was involved on different occasions. This was something that happened frequently. When they first had to come to HR and watch the tapes, they said it was just a joke that got out of hand. One of them even tried to say that I knew of it. They wanted to first keep their job and asked for a group session to work things out. But when HR said there would be a board meeting, they resigned the next day. As for me, I handed in my notice, but this wasn't accepted. The company offered me a better paying job in a different location. They will help me with relocation and everything. I'm glad that I got this chance. Since I have a more senior position, I need a well-rounded, trustworthy assistant. I asked for new guy. They agreed with it and new guy was very excited. Our relocation is closer at his boyfriend's house and I'm glad that I don't have to leave him behind at a toxic environment. I guess this is my finale update. I decided not to sue. I don't ever want to think about what he did ever again. And I don't want to put my energy towards this kind of toxicity. And I know one thing for certain. You get what you give.